So today I'm going to be talking, it's a little bit cut off, but I just moved back to Chicago after being away for 2 years in Nashville, Tennessee. And if there's one thing I can say about the Nashville community, I know you probably think Southerners are crazy, they're a little bit strange, they are. But the second year I lived there, I got really in tune. I actually started Social Media Club Nashville, which led to the position I'm in now. We actually have a nearly 600-person pod camp and again a nearly 600-person bar camp. So if I can say anything about the community when it comes to entrepreneurs and technology in the marketing space, they're pretty incredible. So I want to tell you a story about, this is my new friend Andy Dixon. Andy was in prison for 27 years of his life. He just got out in 2005 from a Supreme Court, actually of Tennessee, overturned his conviction because he had an illegal conviction. So I met Andy through social media. If you all know Jeff Pulver or Gio Geller, they're out of New York City. They actually introduced me to Andy because of his cause and his story. And he actually travels to several of the 140 conference events and Ignite sessions and presents his story to folks like you. So he brought up this idea of generational incarceration, which is a really big word for kids following their parents to prison. I actually just pulled up a statistic that was in 2005. 1 of 10 children in the country has a parent that's somehow involved in the correctional system, so whether on probation, in system, or in prison, mothers, fathers, and all. So when Andy went into prison, he didn't have a microwave in his house. And in 2005, he, of course, was introduced to all this technology. And just a few years later, he has Twitter, which is pretty wild. So there's various statistics that say children of the incarcerated are 50 to 70% more likely to offend. So that tells me that they're following their parents to prison since they don't know any better. Imagine if you are raised with a family dynamic that a father earns his stripes by being a criminal, then that's kind of that self-fulfilling prophecy that kids are exposed to, and they will become that. So the rotating door equals less victims. This cause spoke to me because I believe in being proactive. If we know and identify a problem, I don't understand why our government and correction system is building the beds and waiting for the kids. So rather than pouring that money into the educational system and helping our administrators and leaders, they are just waiting for the children. So he's dubbed himself a convict with conviction, and he's traveled all over the states. But we rallied some support in the Nashville community and thought that he deserved a platform to share his story since he does travel quite a bit. And we saw the need, so we asked the geeks, and don't worry, I'm a geek too. So I rallied 30+ volunteers in Nashville. We asked everyone with various backgrounds in art directors, copywriters, marketing strategy people, journalists, web developers, the whole nine. And we have day of coordinators, videography, photography. We hooked up with the Art Institute of Nashville, and they actually had some students come out. So we had about 34 volunteers that volunteered for 24 hours straight. This was something that we actually did in the middle of July, this past July. So Andy had absolutely no online voice, nothing. He didn't even have a name for his nonprofit. So we like the idea of 24 hours because you know how volunteer work gets. It's kind of like, you know, overwhelming. It's hard to coordinate a lot of people. So we actually beforehand identified what our deliverables will be. It's cut off, but tagline, marketing package, logo, I mean, a whole new brand we were creating in 24 hours straight. So we secured some in-kind donations from local businesses like Panera and our local like pasta shop and stuff. And yeah, you like that, because the geeks don't run on DeLoreans or banana peels. And so we kept them caffeinated, and literally we let them sleep for maybe 1 or 2 hours, if that, and we kept them working all night long. So we actually, the prerequisite for all of this is if you wanted to participate, you had to have a background in whatever you were going to do. So I'm not a copywriter, it doesn't mean I can write the copy for this website. But we came up with Youth Turns. It's a pretty fancy logo, it's not high res, sorry. Well, I couldn't get one that fast. So Youth Turns is an organization that helps mentor children in Nashville, and specifically children of the incarcerated. So always keeping some sort of connection with a parent who's in prison, with the hopes that that parent is receiving some sort of parental classes while in prison, with the intention of that parent then saying, you don't want to follow me here and there's a better life for you and stay in school. So I challenge you to help a local nonprofit amplify their voice like we did in Nashville, and extra credit if you do it in 24 hours or less. So you can also visit youthturns.org, and there's actually a case study. We hooked up with a couple different venues and businesses to help donate all the costs of this, but you can read the entire case study. It's probably about 30+ pages at geekforgood.net. And I'm at Jessica R. Murray on Twitter. Thank you.